Evening everyone, how are we all? Welcome to another live stream as Bitcoin breaks the $1 trillion mark in market cap. Huge moment for Bitcoin and the crypto markets. Glad you can all be with us tonight. We're going to cover Bitcoin analysis, Bitcoin crossing the $1 trillion market cap, and of course, is the 4-year cycle broken, which I know a lot of members in our Discord community have asked about, and of course it's a lot of talk on X or Twitter right now. So we're going to cover everything tonight. Make sure to drop a like and any questions or comments, and we'll try and get to them this evening. How's the sound? How's everybody doing tonight? John's in the house. Declan, good to see everybody. How's the music? All good? Everybody looking for a bit of an XRP pump this week. Don't know if that's going to happen, to be fair. I think XRP is destined to just trade in a range for the rest of its life. I'm looking a bit bright, am I? Might be the new lights, to be fair. Let me see. There we go. How's that? Alright, so as I said, Bitcoin has just crossed the $1 trillion mark in market cap today. Let's have a look and zoom out and let's look at how important a landmark that is for Bitcoin. I think it makes it the 10th most valuable asset on the planet. It's only been above this level twice before in 2021. And of course, that means that more people are going to pay attention to it. It's going to cause FOMO. Will we see it tackle these highs at 1.3 trillion? We'll cover that in tonight's live stream. But as you can see, massive jumps in market cap between the cycles, which is huge. Crazy to think that November 2022 we were less than 300 billion. Now we are over $1 trillion. Let's look at Bitcoin on the day. Had another nice rally this morning, kind of cooled off this afternoon. 6.5% up so far today. Huge moves each day this week so far. How high are we going to get? Does anyone want to drop in the chat how high they think we're going to get this cycle before the halving? Look at that. We're literally bang on this candle top and these 3 candle tops here. We have hit right against it at 51,992, 52k. Let's check in on XRP. Everyone's waiting for XRP to make its move. Still slow grind up, which I suppose is healthy, a healthy pump. The last thing you want to see is just this massive move and then dump. So it's building support at every higher low, but like we said before, XRP moves in its own ways. The market could be going to all-time highs and XRP just trundles along, and eventually when everybody's got bored, everybody's moved on, that's when XRP seems to make its move. So nothing yet. Let's check on the altcoin market. So total 2, which is the crypto market minus Bitcoin. We've spoke a lot about this as it's coiling up and it's starting to make that move into phase E of accumulation, which should see it hit the $939 billion mark, which means it's still got about $80 billion, about just under 10% in market cap to move. And that volume of dollars can cause some massive pumps in altcoins, which is what we want to see as altcoin investors. Evening, Casual by Nature, how we doing? Jay's in the house. Nice. Not seen Jay in a while. But yeah, the point of tonight's stream is we're going to talk about Bitcoin crossing that $1 trillion mark and the 4-year cycle. I suppose, what does everybody think in the chat? Why don't you drop? Do you think the 4-year cycle is still a thing, or do you think we've broken it? Let me know in the chat and we will start discussing it here. Let's move over onto the better chart for this because it's got less drawings on it. The blue lines are obviously the halving. So it's all to do with fibs in my opinion. So if we draw this fib, let me reverse it. So if we look at the fib from the last cycle, we can see that from the top, December 2017, around $20,000 to the bear market low, which was slightly lower than that, just around $3,000. The highest Bitcoin got in terms of candles was the 50% retracement. It tried to reach up to the 618 with a couple of wicks, but it wasn't successful in actually closing above the 618. So that's what happened last cycle. Let's see what happened this cycle. So from 69,000 in November 2021 all the way down to the November 2022 low, you can see we have now broken that 618 retracement level, and a lot of people are saying because we've broken above that and looks fairly likely we're going to get a weekly close above that level, that the 4-year cycle doesn't matter anymore, that we're going to go on to new all-time highs before the halving, and the 4-year bull run bear market is over. And institutional ETF flows are going to mean that we're not going to have that massive bear market in 2026, 2027, because institutional money is going to continue to flow into Bitcoin. What do we think? It's a good question, John. Let me get to that in a minute. So for me, I put a report out in CC Pro in our Discord. If you're not part of it, you're missing out. But what I was trying to show was we've broke the 618, but if we look at the market cap, we've broke the $1 trillion level, but we still have around 300 billion to go before we break all-time high before the halving. The halving is, let me get it up on screen, I think it's 66 days. You can see I check this quite a lot. 63 days till the halving, so we've got like 2 months to go another $300 billion, which, to be fair, we have moved quite a lot. So what's that in? So we're 60 days. So over the last 63 days, we've moved 200 billion, and we saw Bitcoin absolutely tear away from the market. So for me, 300 billion in the next 63 days, I just don't see it happening. I can't see us putting in an all-time high before the halving. And yeah, that might invalidate the 618 Fibonacci, but it doesn't change the 4-year cycle that we don't see a halving till the blow off top in 2025, which I think is what John's getting at. Now, will we see Bitcoin continue to pump? Potentially, but for me, we're at a key level. If we broke this level, then yeah, we might be looking at something up here about 58k, I would say. But for me, this is an important level. I've been saying it for a while that 52k is my pre-halving top, and that was like wild case scenario. Didn't even think we'd get close to it. So I don't see us doing another 300 billion in Bitcoin only market cap. I don't see us breaking new all-time highs before they haven't, and it's simply down to maths. 300 billion is a lot of money, but do I see altcoins running wild over the next couple of weeks? Definitely. I think March is going to be a crucial month for the entire economy, and I think crypto will be exposed to it a little bit, but until then, this profit taking that we might be seeing, because 52k, if you bought in the bear market depths here, you're up what, 200 and odd percent, 220%. Taking profit up here wouldn't be a terrible idea, depending on your goals. That money's going to rotate into altcoins, and we've saw for how many days? We saw Bitcoin dominance struggle with this 54% level. If that starts dropping, if that starts dropping like that, altcoins will have an absolute mania, because there's so much capital flowing into the crypto markets. There's a lot more money sloshing around that can really send altcoins crazy. And we saw some mental pumps in recent weeks, but if we get that, if we got Bitcoin dominance to drop even 50%, but if we got it to drop into the 40s, altcoins will go wild, especially if Bitcoin just kind of consolidates around this level, around 52k. That would be the best case scenario, if we just got something like this. That would be perfect. Not the best drawing in the world, that's why I'm not an art teacher. That would be the best scenario for altcoin mania. Bitcoin dominance could cool off, people could take profit, and altcoins will just go wild. We'll see 20-30% pumps easy in a day. So that's what we're hoping for. I don't see why we won't get that. I think that's more likely than Bitcoin doing an all-time high in the next 63 days. So yeah, we'll see the cycle peak in 2025, but it doesn't mean that we won't break this before the top, because for me the cycle top in 2025 for Bitcoin's 150k plus. Some of you that have done the fast track course will know what my number is, but it's 150k plus. So of course we're going to break 69,000 probably in 2024, maybe the start of 2025 at the latest, but I wouldn't be surprised if we didn't break this, like Gary says, before the end of the year. Definitely a new all-time high before then, but that doesn't invalidate the 4-year cycle. Now, one of the things we spoke about in the CC Pro post, let me just show it on screen. Let me go back to the other chart. It's better to see it on this chart. Take off this, and we'll take off these MAs. So one of the things we spoke about is people are saying that this cycle is different because we dropped lower than the previous all-time high, which we didn't do previously. So let's go right back. It's hard to zoom out so much because Bitcoin was worth peanuts, but the cycle top in 2013 was at $1,240, and you can see the cycle low in 2018 was $3,000. So we didn't drop as low as the previous all-time high, whereas if we go fast forward to this cycle, the previous cycle top was $20,000, and of course we broke that. We dropped as low as 15,500 with some black swan events. We had FTX, we had Luna, we had Celsius, we had Three Arrows Capital. It was just a horrendous 6 to 8 months where just everything that would go wrong. We also had Grayscale in the mix. That was just a horrible concoction of dodgy actors in the crypto space. So that caused a bigger dump. So what, I don't even know if it's a real term, but in the CC Pro in the CC Pro post, I said well, if we can have a black swan, why can't we have a white swan, which is the ETF? And that's causing us to pump higher pre-halving, just like we dumped lower in the bear market. That seems to make sense to me. So that's one reason why I don't think the 4-year cycle's broken. But, like everything, it'll break eventually. Let's see what the chat's saying. Genesis cleared to sell GBTC shares worth 1.3 billion. Wow. Yeah, Anthony, good point. So there's a few things I've got on the ETF that I'll talk about. I've actually got an article that I'll share, and we'll talk about the ETF. But we're still seeing massive inflows. But I reckon that's going to fade eventually. There's only so much institutional interest in Bitcoin ETF right this second. Bear in mind that the stock market's going on to all-time highs, so people aren't actually rotating out of positions yet to allocate to Bitcoin. Why would you? If you hold any stocks in, you know, the stock market and it's posting all-time highs, the Nasdaq, if you're not taking profits, then you've not got spare capital necessarily to rotate into Bitcoin ETFs right now. So that might continue. But what a couple of weeks we've had. If you're in copy trading, we've literally doubled our portfolio in about 3 weeks just trading altcoins. We had a bit of a rough start to the year with the market, but I think we had a balance of around $1,600 at one point. That was the lowest we dropped. And we are now up at $3,150. Bear in mind, we started this account with $1,000 and we've taken profit. So, but trading's very risky. No financial advice. So let's talk other reasons why I think we won't break an all-time high before the halving. So, well, let's look at the stock market for one. So let's zoom out because the stock market's wild. Let's just go to the weekly. So for anybody that invests in stocks and shares, S&P 500, Nasdaq, anything like that, one of the things, if you've done it for a long time, is you'll know before a recession or before a crash, there's always a massive blow off top. Same as Bitcoin, same as any asset. Before a massive correction, there's always a blow off top because it's all manipulation. If you're a massive investor, a massive hedge fund, you want to get out with as much profit as possible. The only way you can do that is if you suck in buyers, because if you want to sell $10 billion worth in Nasdaq stocks, you're going to need a lot of buying for that. So what happens is they pump the price, they buy it, make it go like this, absolute vertical. Like, look at the stock market. So the Dow Jones since November is up 18%. I think the Dow Jones is worth like $100 trillion or something, or maybe 50 trillion. That's a massive move, and that screams exit liquidity. That's an exit pump. They are pumping the market so that when they start selling, there's plenty cash to sell into. So let's have a look. So here's the COVID drop. You can see almost like straight up from here. So from December 2018 to the top before COVID, up 36% in just over a year. Now, interestingly, the COVID drop was March, right? Well, that's February they started selling off, which seems strange, but that's that. We've then got 2007. So 2007, economy was fine. Look at this. this move up from 2005 to 2007. We had a 41% move. This is serious market moves. This isn't crypto altcoins that you can move with a couple of $1 million. This is serious billions that need to move these markets. 41% move, and then 54% correction due to the great financial crisis. So massive rally up. This was, I mean, this one's just ridiculous. So this is the dot-com bubble. Look how steep that rally is. All on speculation, all on hype. You telling me that no one knew in this period here in the late 90s that they were just gambling on random stocks, any tech company? Of course they knew. And then a 40% correction. So for me, I think we're on the verge, to be fair, I've been saying it for a while, I think we're on the verge of seeing something similar. You look at Nvidia, straight up, like a $1.8 trillion stock moving like a meme coin. It's just insane. Since October 2022, it's up 500%. That's insane. And that's just AI, hype, mania, whatever you want to call it. But if that bubble bursts, you're going to see a massive correction. And I shared this chart a few days ago. I don't know if anyone remembers it. But this is Cisco Systems from the dot-com bubble. And to me, it looks very similar in Nvidia. So this was 99. Cisco pumped in a year 150%. And look at the crash afterwards when the dot-com bubble burst. Same right now with AI. It's just pure manipulation, sucking in retail all the way up here and then selling out, crashing out. And Cisco Systems has never made a new all-time high since then. So the reason I'm talking about the stock market is if that happens, crypto will drop, Bitcoin will drop, because Bitcoin is easy to liquidate your position. It's so easy to get your money out. It's too easy sometimes. People just sell, they read a headline, they don't even read the story, they just see a headline, American government is going to ban Bitcoin, and they just sell their position because it's so quick and easy to sell out of crypto, get into cash. It's super easy. So because of that, whenever there's a dump, whenever the traditional market tanks, Bitcoin and crypto go with it because people just sell everything. So because of that, it means that when the stock market dumps, crypto typically dumps with it. The only difference is when the stock market does finally have its major correction, 30% correction, it's going to take 3 years to recover. Bitcoin will recover in months because that's what happens, because the liquidity just flows so quickly in and out. Eventually, Scott, so this is just my theory, I could be wrong, but when the stock market crashes, Bitcoin will dump and Bitcoin will recover very quickly because people will realize that the US dollar is absolutely goosed because they're going to have to print trillions to recover the stock market. And where do you want your money when they're printing trillions of dollars? In a hard asset like gold and Bitcoin. And that'll flow straight back into Bitcoin. So we'll see a recovery similar to the C19. This is what happened here. Like, massive dump, massive correction. Because once people get over the initial shock, they just buy back in and realise that actually they got shaken out by a stupid headline or nonsense news. So I've got an article as well just to show you. So a month after the launch of the spot Bitcoin ETF, weekly net inflows hit new all-time high. So like we're saying, the ETF is still going to be a massive influence on the price of Bitcoin. They're buying up supply that doesn't exist, but eventually that buying has to fade. There's not $1 billion of institutional investment in Bitcoin every week forever. So once that slows, I would imagine we'll start seeing some profit taking. I actually think we must be pretty close. If 52k is the top, I would not be surprised. But that's what Bitcoin does. It surprises everybody. And the thing with the 4-year cycle is, it's just a trend. It's just like an uptrend, it's just a downtrend. It's a trend that every 4 years, Bitcoin makes a new all-time high. Give or take a month. Eventually that trend will break, but nobody will know it's going to break until after the event, because you don't know a downtrend's ended until the market turns and breaks that trend. So if we go on to make a new all-time high in the next 2 months, then yeah, the 4-year cycle of all-time highs is broken. Happy days. We're all positioned for it. We're all ready for it. But until that happens, I still stick to the phrase, the trend is your friend until the end. Let's see what the chat's saying. Gary, maybe the end of the year, US election. Yeah. The one guaranteeing life is central banks love to print money, and the US government loves to manipulate money and make people think that they're rich when they're not. So before the election, what great time to start printing money. To be fair, it's already kind of happened. So this is the US money supply, and everybody believes that they're doing tightening, they're sucking liquidity out of the system. Well, we've not put in a new low since April 2023. Liquidity's actually stayed pretty flat in that time. So are they tightening? Doesn't look like it. And if they do begin tightening again, that's going to have a massive consequence for risk assets. And you can see China's just printing trillions. Mental. Scott, if the stock market crashes, is there no chance that it flows into Bitcoin? There is a chance. There definitely will be some profit taken and moving it into Bitcoin, but that'll take... That's the problem with stocks and shares and stuff, and especially in the States, is it's all done through brokers, so it's not instant. So you'll sell your stocks, you'll have to pay your tax on them, then you'll have what's left, then you'll decide to put it into a Bitcoin ETF or whatever. There's a bit of time that is involved there. And the other thing is, people typically take profits and they don't automatically look to reinvest. They take profits, go and enjoy a bit of the profits, and then they're like, right, now what do I do? And then they look to reinvest. So I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of rotation happens, but it's not instant. It's not sell Tesla, buy Bitcoin. It doesn't necessarily match up like that. Matt, when Swissborg all-time high? Swissborg's trading sideways for a while now, but the one good thing about Swissborg is it seems like every week they've got a new enhancement to the product offering. This week they launched the gaming thematic. If you don't know what a thematic is, it's basically like a basket of crypto or an index fund of crypto. The gaming thematic was launched this week in partnership with Xborg. I think it'll do amazing. The banter bundle is up something crazy, like 180%. So yeah, Swissborg is just building and building the product so that once they get mass adoption, everything's ready to go and it'll just blow up, in my opinion. I would imagine so, John. I don't know off the top of my head. Swissborg have got loads going on just now. But yeah, Xborg will definitely long term be listed on Swissborg. I think Xborg are planning to launch the token. I could be wrong, but I'm sure it's the beginning of Q2. So I think it's like April, May time. Xborg, the token, actually gets launched. So they've got the pre-sale coming up. If everyone should know, if you're in CC Pro, if you're not in CC Pro, you need to get in CC Pro. But the pre-sale is coming up very soon, and once the pre-sale's done, the token normally follows quite soon after a pre-sale. So they've done the seed round last year, developed loads in the background, partnerships with Activision, partnerships with loads of people, and they've still got one partnership to announce, which apparently is the biggest name in esports, or a big name in esports. So yeah, constantly developing, constantly making new partnerships. So yeah, I would imagine the Xborg token is going to be a huge one. I think the pre-sale, they're trying to raise $10 million, which is pretty ambitious to be fair, but the good thing for them is, timing wise, people should be in a lot of profit, so they could rotate that profit into a pre-sale, which wouldn't be the worst investment plan in the world, in my opinion. Let's have a look at some of our other coins that we all love to hold. MV, Genzo Kishi, there's another one that, you know, continues to just bottom out around this level. It looks, every time I look at it, it looks so ready to pump, and yet it's still slowly just trading sideways. As soon as this sideways trading's over though, this thing is going to absolutely rocket. Not yet, Lewis, from what I can see, but the interesting thing about Xborg is it's all governed by the NFT holders. So they vote on loads. They vote on the pre-sale, how much discount they give, how they give the discount, who they partner with. Everything's voted on. So the pre-sale price is also voted on. So I would imagine it's a bit higher than the seed round, but it'll still be a discount on the token launch price. Did everyone that's watching get in on Antara? If you're not in CC Pro, you might have missed out on Antara. So Antara is a seed round that, or a pre-sale that we negotiated on behalf of CC Pro, and I think we sold out over 300k in a couple of days. We actually had to get more tokens because we had sold out so much, and we got it at 12 cents, and I think the IDO is happening right now at 20 cents. So another benefit of being in our Discord community. And I'll just add this on. Sorry, it was on the other window. Was there not meant to be a Binance listing? I'm not sure if it was Binance, Liam. I know there is chat that MV will be getting listed in a few places. It got listed on, I think, Bitget a while ago, but they're always working on stuff. So, yeah, it won't be long before it gets listed on some other exchanges, I would imagine. But just got to be patient. Some of these exchanges are very, very ruthless with what they want in terms of how much tokens they want and what price. So maybe MV doesn't want to list there right now. On screen is our Discord community. So if you've not heard of CC Pro, I can't believe you've not heard of CC Pro. Daily members updates, beginner suite. We've got TA, we've got copy trading, we've got a newsletter, we've got a podcast, and we've got loads more project updates. Pretty much everything. It's literally a one-stop shop for everything you need in crypto. And add in that you also get mindset posts and a chat room where you can mix with like-minded investors. I don't think people put enough emphasis on the fact that crypto is actually quite lonely. Most people that invest in crypto don't know anyone else that's serious about crypto. So to have a chat room with 1,000 people that you can ask for advice, discuss things, learn from, or just simmer down a wee bit when you get a bit excited in the market or you get a bit shaken out because of the volatility, it's an amazing resource. Gary got some Antara. Amazing. Yeah. To be fair, any pre-sales and seed rounds are worth paying attention to. If you can't always take part in every single one, even if you could put $100 into one, it could 100x. It could go to 0. But Antara for me looks huge. Looks amazing. Does anyone have any questions? Anything anyone wants covered? Kind of covered the 4-year cycle. In my opinion, it is still intact, but there's nothing to say it won't break very soon. Let's have a look at MicroStrategy. Now there's a stock. If you had to buy a stock, there is one that's up 475% since the bottom at December 2022. It's even beaten Bitcoin. Let me put on the MAs back and we can have a look at some coins. VeChain up 7.3% today. Nice. Dogecoin up 5.6%. I think we had an open trade. I'm not sure if anybody's in the copy trading that's on this stream, but I'm sure we had a Doge trade. I'm just going to check if we've still got it open. We might have taken profits on it because no. So we've got a Doge trade open on the copy trading and we are up 82% profit currently on that trade alone. So yeah, if you want to get involved, you know the link is in CC Pro, and just search for CC Pro copy trading. Use smart copy, and then everything is proportionate to our trades. So if we've got $1,000 in our account and you've got $1,000, the position size is the exact same. Jack. When will Antara go live on exchanges, and do you reckon it will go straight onto Swissborg? I very much doubt Antara will go on Swissborg anytime soon. And that's not because I don't want it to. It's just because it's not the natural path for that type of token. It'll go on an exchange like Qcoin or Bybit, Bitget, probably go on those places first before Swissborg. I can't imagine it going on Swissborg. And any discussion I've had with the founders of Antara, they've not really mentioned Swissborg. That's not a diss against Swissborg, it's just Dom, if you remember from Antara, runs his own token studio, and he's never used Swissborg before, so it would seem strange that he would do it with Antara. I think they're probably more looking for that US and Asia audience, which probably suits somebody like Bitget, in my opinion. Bitcoin will be 70k easy by end of year. Yeah, I wouldn't say why not. Let's have a look. Let's look at the other chart and let's see what we can. So the halving was here in May, so we're going to be a month different, but it went up 300% in 230 days. So what's that? About 8 months. So depending on where we are at the halving, if at the halving we're above 35k, then by Christmas we should do 100k, based on that same thing playing out, which is very rough, very unlikely to happen. But there's no reason why we couldn't go into 2025 at 100k, especially if the US government print trillions and trillions like we expect them to do. They're going to have to. They've got a $2 trillion deficit. They've got a US election in which the economy is the #1 issue. They've got inflation coming back, which is a disaster. So their only answer is to print money. Literally print money, quantitative easing, and pump the bags of everybody buying and holding Bitcoin, is my well thought out analysis. Any flame updates? I don't have a project update, but I can look at the chart. The one thing I would say about Flame is not necessarily having an update isn't a negative. Like they are working. If you go on the website, you can see that they're building the launchpad for different tokens. Launchpads are going to be huge in the next bull run, I think. So yeah, they are working away, but it's just because we got in at a really good time. It feels like ages ago, but you kind of had to buy in then to get a good price. Looks pretty good, to be fair. It'd be nice if it bottomed out here and then just went on a massive rally. Maybe a bit lower, maybe down here. About 0.038 is probably where it'll bottom. That's a previous resistance, just here. But it could bottom here. And look at the upside, it's huge. In fact, it's too big to even get on the screen. So yeah, massive potential. This wick will get filled once it does start getting moving, which is about an 8x from here, just to fill that wick, which in a zoomed out perspective doesn't even look a lot. Thoughts on Opulus? Very bullish on Opulus. I think I've said quite a lot on this. It's probably why the most bullish about the kind of smaller altcoins. Just because I like what they're doing. I think there's a real use case for it, and it's got real price history from the last bull run. It's done really well, and I think Web3 is going to be a massive narrative, but NFTs and musical rights and things, I don't understand why that wouldn't be a massive narrative. I don't actually understand why that's not taken off already. Because if I was an artist, I would want to own the rights to my music on something that couldn't be manipulated and I could prove ownership. So yeah, I don't really understand. I think part of the problem with stuff like NFTs as well is that they've been totally hijacked by the nonsense JPEGs. So the actual real underlying technology of NFTs is amazing, but the wider public, people that run businesses, people that don't really understand crypto, all they know NFTs is nonsense JPEGs that sold for $300 million and are now worth probably about $1,000. Whereas actually the underlying technology, and this goes for all of blockchain, Web3, NFTs, things like that, it's ruined by the nonsense that goes along in the industry. If you think some altcoins have a genuine use case, but meme coins make them all look like scams. Same NFTs. But yeah, I think Opulus will do really well. And I think LimeWire will do very, very well because it's got that brand recognition as well. John took profits on Flame and diversified his portfolio, as he was very heavy on that. Sounds like a good plan. Yeah, diversification, especially if you're in profits, it's a good plan. Be nice to see us test the $1 trillion mark as a support. That would be very nice. See what the DXY is doing. DXY is rallying because people don't think there's going to be rate cuts anymore because inflation is back as expected. Yeah, great question, Kieran. Great question. So, a lot of projects that we're talking about, especially like Opulus, launched in the peak bull run of 2021, I think. Opulus, let's have a look. When did it? A lot of these charts are only when it launched on exchange. So it doesn't mean the project launched. It probably launched like a year or two ago, but they've decided to launch it then because there's a lot of liquidity in the market, there's a lot of hype, makes sense. So Opulus went on exchange 2 months before the peak of the bull run. Now for me, I wouldn't really necessarily see that as a negative, because what happens is, I'm trying to zoom out 2 seconds. So people remember this, or people look at charts like, think of CC Pro for example. How many people in CC Pro are talking about Opulus because it has this potential? So that's going to create hype again the next time. People look at charts, they look at the past, and they'll continue buying because they want to get it back to all-time high. On top of that, you've then got all the developments of the project. You've got all the new hype that comes when they announce big developments or big names associated with the project. So they'll also have much more money. So when it launched, they probably didn't have a lot of money. You look at Drift, for example. Drift have so far spent 50 grand in marketing, which if anyone's ever tried to buy any marketing, even people on Twitter, 50 grand's zero, because they don't have a massive budget right now because they're so early stage. But Opulus has had all this time to raise funds, so by now they're starting to release new releases, new developments, update their roadmap, come out with new things, partner with different people. So that's going to create a new cycle of hype. So the hype here would have been new coin on exchange, pretty cool, let's buy it. The hype here is, no, it's actually got a cool project and it's actually a good product and we can actually see it being used. So now the hype, and that's for a lot of projects that launched in the bull run the last time. They launched, created that initial hype, got a big run, and now they've just went into building mode and building community, building partnerships, building marketing, building a team of people that can actually build out what they're trying to do. And then the next hype is all driven by utility. That's the theory. Hopefully that plays out. That is the idea behind it. hopefully that answers the question. It was a bit of a ramble, but hopefully that makes sense. So let's see what's happening. So what is a realistic target for the LimeWire market cap? Well, let's see right now. Right now we're at $25 million. Which probably puts it on page 4 or something. There's a ridiculous amount of money in crypto. The fact that WinkLink has $100 million market cap. Somebody's going to tell me they hold it and they've bought it years ago. But my point is that look at the millions, the multi-million pounds in this industry. Can't even get to LimeWire. So LimeWire 737th in market cap on CoinMarketCap, and let's look at what's around it. Noddle, MinSwap, BubbleFong, Cavalent, Burger Cities, just utter dross. So what you would hope is in the bull run is the cream rises to the top. That is never going to happen in crypto, not anytime soon. But some projects will, and LimeWire is going to be one of them. I would expect 10x market cap, 2.5 billion, easy. Probably. It just depends on what the narrative is and how the product continues to function. Because you think about it, if LimeWire released a partnership tomorrow with, I don't know, a massive name in the music industry, it would just blow up overnight. So I guess if everything keeps working, there's no reason why you couldn't see, 2.5 billion, maybe a 10x from here. That seems pretty realistic, to be honest, but I don't see why it couldn't be higher than that. But I would want to gamble on it going much higher than that, because it is still its first cycle and you never know. You never know what's going to happen. Let's go back to the charts. Hopefully that helps, Anthony. So Bitcoin continues to consolidate. We want this to happen. So unless you're Bitcoin only, which there might be some people on. In fact, let me know if you're Bitcoin only in the chat. That'd be a really interesting thing to find out if somebody was Bitcoin only. But if you're like most of us that are altcoin investors, we want Bitcoin to just trade between 44 and 52 grand for the next 6 weeks. Just trade there. Don't care what happens. Just trade there and allow altcoins to go absolutely wild. And then we can have a dump before the halving and then off to the absolute moon. That is my ideal scenario. Yeah, John, as long as no more tokens come into supply, which I don't think LimeWire have announced any. I think all their new tokens are for rewards and stuff. But I think it's locked in the ecosystem. I can't really remember off the top of my head. But yeah, as long as no new tokens come in, then yeah, 10x, 10x. 80% XRP, Jamie. Nice. Well, when this thing takes off, let's see. It's just dying to go. What's your average buy, Jamie? Let's see how our copy trading is getting on. Tonight, we are on the day up $430. So we use about $75 position. So being up $430 on the day is what? About 6-7x, maybe less. Your position size, which is nice. Nah, John, don't worry, there's no daft questions. Although, if anyone asks me about Harry Potter coin, that is a daft question. Let's try and keep it semi-crypto serious. So, we're 63 days from the halving. For me, the 4-year cycle's still intact. Bitcoin has broke the $1 trillion barrier, which is huge. And, to be honest, I'm surprised there's not more headlines about it. But maybe it's just the media. No worries, Jamie. It was just a question. You will get to 61 cents eventually. Just be patient. One thing, in fact, this is a good point before we wrap up. I've seen loads of people talk about selling, especially XRP or Borg, in the chat room to go and buy something else. So this is an important lesson. This is how people do not make money in crypto and investing in a bull run. So if you imagine if you sold your XRP here, what are you going to buy? Cardano up 5.5% today, but over the last few weeks it's up 140%. Even choose something else. Mana, Decentraland is up 71%. So what are you selling your XRP to buy? And what happens if XRP, you wake up tomorrow and XRP just does that? What are you going to do then? Because you've just sold out of something you've held for months, years maybe, probably years to be honest with XRP. And just before it pumped, you sold to go and buy something that was already up. It's just madness. It's literally the easiest way to not make money in crypto is sell a coin that you've held for ages to buy something that is already pumped. And people do it all the time in a bull run because they get bored, they get impatient, they're sick of seeing some random guy that knows nothing about crypto making a few $1,000s because he bought some random coin that he saw on YouTube. People get really frustrated. A bull run can be really frustrating at certain times when your coins aren't running, which is why you should have a diverse portfolio. It's why thematics are really good. But just hang in there. If you've got a solid project like XRP, if you hold something that you've researched, you're confident in, if it's something you've heard us talk about, we've probably done a lot of research into it, although there's no guarantees in anything, but just hold out, be patient, because if you flip your XRP tonight, for example, and go and buy, I don't know, pick something, GMT, then what happens if GMT dumps tomorrow and XRP flies? It's the #1 way people do not make money. I can't stress it enough. Saw it so many times in 2021. Oh, I've sold this coin because this one was rallying and I wanted to get in on the pump. Well, you've probably missed the pump. By the time CoinStats updates you that something's up 5, 6, 7%, it's already up. It's gone. You've missed the boat. You either buy in a bear market and buy low, sell high, buy throughout a bear market, buy when prices are low, and sell when they pump. You don't wait for them to pump to buy them. It's just nonsense. See it so many times. It's so frustrating. And it's hard. It's because it's emotional. People get frustrated. They've got a lot of money on the line. And what normally is the kick in the teeth is their random mate from work who has no interest in crypto, has ignored their advice for 2-3 years, gets lucky, buys a coin, and it goes up 20% overnight. And that really annoys people. But just wait it out. You're an investor, you're a long-term holder, patience, and you'll come good. That is my #1 advice. So fair play to you, Jamie. Yeah, you've held for 3 years. Just carry on holding. If prices stay low, if they dump back, if you do get a correction down to 38 cents, then I would top up. But that's just that's what I would do. Put it that way. Abdul swapped his DOT to Filecoin. I don't think I made a good choice. I don't really know what to say to that. Let's see. I suppose it depends when you've done it. DOT. I mean, this is a nice level for DOT. Just a bit there. Look at this as well. So this is what we look for in trading. If anybody's followed our copy trades, you'll see a lot of them are kind of long-term swing trades. But look at that. This is a perfect setup for us. So this is 2020. And look, we came back. We broke above this level, tested its support, and then pumped and came all the way back to this level. So around here, I'll draw it on for you in orange. This is where we would enter the trade. This orange line. In fact, let's just get rid of this blue box because it's not doing anything for empty. So this is where we'd enter along. Just here. And as you can see, this is what we call a scam wick. Let me try and highlight it for anyone by trading on the stream that was unexpected. This is a scam wick. So to anyone trading this is what I would do. Put it this way. If I was trading, I can see it comes back to a key level from 2020, a level that was respected in 2022. Again, 2022 is resistance. Again, 2023 is resistance. We break above it, test it as support. You would enter along here, and you'd probably put your stop loss somewhere around here because that's the recent low, and your target would be this range high. And what market manipulators do is they dump the price, stop everybody out, and then let the price move up. So everybody gets stopped out on their trades. And that's exactly what they do. And that's why when you're trading, you need to be nimble, you need to be flexible, and you need to be aware of what's going on so that you can react. Because if I got stopped out there, it wouldn't put me off taking another trade. I would just need to wait and let price settle. And as soon as that had happened, then I could enter on the next candle. And as you can see, it gave me a better entry anyway. So that was DOT. That's how I would trade DOT. I swapped my DOT 2 weeks ago. I don't know why, only a few hundred. Well, I guess the big thing, fair enough, Abdul, for being honest, but I guess you need to understand why you bought Filecoin and what you didn't like about DOT and why you bought it. Everything, regardless of what anyone says, crypto prices are still relatively low in the grand scheme of things. Like, look at Filecoin. Where's its all-time high? Miles away. Let's say it doesn't get up that high, right? Let's be cautious. So So still down 95% even from this range high here at $120 per coin. It's now at 5. So what's that, 60x from here? So I mean, you've bought something that has upside potential. It's done it before. So I wouldn't beat yourself up too much, but are you going to be able to hold it long term if you just bought it on a whim? I mean, if Filecoin doesn't pump until October 2025, are you going to have conviction to hold on to it all the way through till then, when everything else is going wild around you? That's kind of what you have to weigh up when you're investing, in my opinion. What's the time frame for Borg to be listed on more exchanges? Good question. John, seen in the past, XRPs typically last to go. Yeah, it is, to be fair. So what's the time frame for Borg to be listed on more exchanges? To be honest, they're working on it just now. Part of the changes to the Borg ecosystem right now are make the coin more attractive to investors on different exchanges. So one of the reasons it changed name from CHSB to Borg was to appeal to a wider audience. One of the reasons they removed the yield was because top tier exchanges, basically Binance and Bybit, don't like yielding coins because there's constant sell pressure, which we've saw with Swissborg in the past, that people earn Borg, and the Borg they earn every month they just automatically sell, so it creates constant sell pressure. So they got rid of that. So there's a few things they're doing in the background which is designed around appealing to a bigger audience. Now, when they're going to be ready to launch on exchanges, like I've said, exchanges aren't the easiest people to deal with. They look at wallet holders, they look at price action, they obviously want a decent cut, which can be expensive. Somebody told me the other day, who is it? I think it's Qcoin, wanted 400 grand in tokens on just to launch the token. They wanted 400 grand's worth of tokens that were vested, but they could sell every month per, like, as the exchange, which is quite steep when you're a small altcoin, not Borg but other altcoins. Abdo, I don't think it will go to all-time high. I'm still DCing in. Patience pays. 100%. Yeah, and you can. That's what I'm trying to say is, like, prices are still low. Look at Filecoin, like, it's still low. Technically, it's putting in lower highs. So, yeah, it's bottomed here around $3, but it's not up huge amounts. You've still got time, but yeah, just be patient and research what you're doing, and then don't try not to flip-flop around coins, because you're just going to pay exchange fees and you're going to have no conviction when the time comes to when you get really tested, when prices dump or everything else is pumping. I'm really curious what David said. Retracted his message. I'm quite curious, to be fair. Excuse me. Hopefully you didn't catch that on mic. Yeah, stuff like X, this will. Fees are very high on some exchanges. There's loads of great projects as well that haven't really ran. Uniswap's done pretty well, to be fair, but this is another one that looks like a bit of Wyckoff accumulation. Hopefully you've watched the alpha live stream if you're in CC Pro. If not, let me show you this. So you can see a lot of alts are showing this same pattern. Hopefully you can see that. So I'd probably ignore that and say we are just probably in here just now on Uniswap, in this bit here, and phase D still needs to go up, and then this level here is where I'd be expecting it to do this SOS stage, and then phase E will be over here and a bit of a blast off. And you can see that on total 2, which is happening right now. Let me put it up here. So hopefully you can see that on your screens, but it's pretty much perfect. Dropped down, had a big dump, phase A, ended up going out to phase B with a high, and then dropping, accumulating for months. Finally got out of this, and its SOS stage was just here. And for me, I would say that the altcoin market is roughly there, and it's just going into phase E now, which is an explosive move up and to the right. That's what I'm watching. That's why we're so excited about altcoins, and that is why we have been talking about copy trading for a lot, because we knew that this was going to be the time to make some serious profit. Let's have a look. Bitcoin is just today closed its highest 4-hour candle since December the 3rd, 2021, which was 4 weeks after the all-time high. So we're certainly making moves. Let's see if we can break 52k. If we break 52k, anything's on the table. But for me, I think I'm quite happy with our run up. I'd be not too bothered by a correction into the halving, shake everybody out. Especially the more you see on Twitter people talking about all-time high before the halving, it just convinces me it won't happen. So it's like the ETF. Everybody was saying it's going to pump to all-time highs. We were saying there's a good chance this could be a sell the news event. What happened? Bitcoin dropped 10 grand and $10,000 in like a week. The minute the majority starts saying something, the opposite will happen. I don't really know a lot about Metis, and seen Deck is leaving end of the next bull run. I can't speak for Dawn. Will Deck properly hang up his boots? Who knows? One thing you have to understand is crypto's 24/7. So in the bear market, when prices are just going down, red and sideways every single day, if you're the average investor, you probably just ignore crypto for a few weeks, a few months. Some people take the summer off where they don't look at their investments. Some people don't look at their coin stats for like 3, 4, 5 months during a bear market. Deck and Dawn, and obviously myself now, but we don't have that luxury. So we're in it 24/7, whether Bitcoin is $50,000 a coin or it's 15. We're here in it every single day. It's 24/7. It's literally everything. There's no switch off for people that are bringing you CC Pro updates and all the good stuff that we spoke about earlier. So yeah, it takes its toll. It's not like a normal... You don't get many holidays from crypto, if any. There's deck there, end of year, not end of the bull run. So yeah, but loads of excitement to come. We are 2 months till the halving. Finally made it. John Conway will be throwing a leaving party for deck. So you do more than just weddings, John. Good to know. Good to know. Let's have a look at Bitcoin. It looks like it's testing this 52k level again. Looks like we could get a breakthrough. If we do, I will be watching the 58k level, probably 54.5 first, but I was looking at it earlier. Let's have a look. In fact, I'm sure it's a fib. Yeah. So there. If we do break above this 52k level, which has been a key level in the past, 57.6 looks like an important level to me, and that's where I'll be watching. And hopefully we hold this level. But for me, I'm not really bothered about Bitcoin going much higher. Consolidate, let the altcoins play, Bitcoin dominance can drop. That would be sweet. Yeah, Abdul, just remember that there is big drops in the bull run. I think somebody said to me the other day, when do these big drops stop happening? It's crypto. They never stop happening. This was the bull run 2021, and between January 2021 and what was that, 3 weeks? 3 weeks, we dropped 32%, and then obviously April we put in a new all-time high, and in the space of 6 weeks we dropped 54%, all while there was loads of hype about El Salvador buying Bitcoin. So for anyone that thinks these drawdowns, these massive corrections disappear at some point, they don't. That's a fact of life investing in crypto, and that's why long-term investing, dollar cost averaging, zoom out is the message we always bring. But thank you all for tuning in. That's me been going for over an hour. It was great to go through the 4-year cycle, great to go through some coins, answer some questions, and yeah, for me, 4-year cycle still intact. Thanks very much for tuning in, and I'll catch you again very soon.